what's up? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hi, I'm Brittany and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. So today we're going to be doing my updated full coverage foundation routine, and so today I woke up with some acne, didn't feel that pretty, and I was going to do my full coverage foundation routine, and I was thinking in my head, oh my gosh, I haven't shown you guys a foundation routine in forever, and so I thought I would do it today. And for reference, for skin, I have oily combination skin, so I get mainly oily in my T-zone, mainly my nose. I'm a little bit more dry on my forehead and then pretty normal everywhere else, so that is my skin type. And yeah, so we're going to be covering everything on my face today and getting a really full coverage foundation look. And I'm also going to be showing you guys my contour routine and highlight routine, pretty much the whole full face except for like the eyes and lips, of course. And so yeah, if you guys want to see this updated foundation routine, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so first I'm going to start off by priming my face. Now I do change up my primer pretty much every day depending on what my skin is doing, but recently I've been trying out this new one that I picked up, and this is from Origins, and it's the Pore Perfecting Cooling Primer. I did show this in a first impressions, but I've been kind of testing it out and seeing if I like it, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one today. Now usually I've been spraying it into my hand and then applying it that way, but by the time I rub it on my face it's not as cold. So today I'm going to try just applying it straight to the skin and see if it stays colder that way. Ooh. Now this does smell very fragrant, so I don't know if you would like it if you're not a big fan of fragranced products. But yeah, I'm just testing it out, trying to see if I like it, if it breaks me out, if it doesn't break me out, that kind of thing. And it does make my skin feel very smooth, and it does help with the pores like it says. And so far I've been liking it. So next, after primer, I like to go in with concealer, and I like to go ahead and conceal these veins under my eyes first. And so today I'm going to be using this IT Cosmetics Full Coverage Bye Bye Under Eye in the color medium. I've really been loving this lately. I already talked about it in a favorites video, that's how much I've been liking it. And so I just put a little bit on my fingers and then kind of warm it up in my hands to make it a little bit thinner in consistency because it is a thicker concealer. And then I'll go ahead and just tap it right onto these veins that I have under my eyes. Okay, and then whatever's left on my fingers, I'll just go ahead and try to hide these blemishes. Cover that redness right on the sides of my nose. Just basically trying not to make this concealer go to waste. Now for my full coverage foundation, I've really been loving this one from Laura Mercier. This is the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. That's what it looks like. And I have mine in the color 2W1 Macadamia, and that's what I'm going to be using today with my damp beauty blender. And so I just like to apply it straight to my hand because this is pretty watery and it could tend to squirt out. Like yesterday, it literally went all over this wall, and so I'll just be safe than sorry and apply it to my hand first and then dip my beauty blender in it. And this is a perfect shade for me, so if you're around my shade, you should totally check out the macadamia color. And this is very thin in consistency, so it's one of the reasons why I like it, because it feels really nice on the skin. It doesn't feel too heavy, but it also covers very, very well. And I do already have my brows done, so if they look really dark, that's why. It's because they're already filled in. But once I have the rest of my makeup on, it should blend in better. And now I'm just going in with the second layer, kind of where I need extra coverage. Okay, to go ahead and highlight and conceal, I've really been loving this one. This is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the color C6, so I'm going to use this one today. And I've also been using this as my primer on fast days if I don't want to use an eyeshadow primer, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. So as you can see, I pretty much put this everywhere, and then I go ahead and blend it out with my damp beauty blender. Okay, to go ahead and set that concealer in place, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the color Fair Light. I've really been loving this lately. It's an amazing powder for under the eyes. It doesn't look too dry. It sets everything down nicely. And I just take that on my damp beauty blender, and then I'll just kind of blend it into my under eye concealer. So I'll blend out any creases that I have, and then just go straight in with the powder, and then blend it in. And as you can see, it just looks so smooth and nice. And then I'll even take it up here on my lid to go ahead and set that concealer as well. And do the same thing over here, just blend out those creases. And blend it in. Now, I would totally use the Maybelline Fit Me powder on the rest of my face, but recently I've been wanting to try out the Makeup Revolution loose powder in the color Lace, the baking powder. So I've been trying this one out on the rest of my face just because I can't use this one under my eyes because it does darken my concealer and it does look a little bit too dry. But for the face, I've been liking it, so I'll go ahead and just bake with this one. And it is a little bit more pigmented too, so I feel like it bakes the face really nicely. And so I'll just take that on my damp beauty blender as well, and I'll just bake it where I have the largest pores, mainly in my T-zone. And I'll just press it right into the skin just to fill in any pores and also help with texture and just smooth out the skin. And then I'll also bake my nose because that's where I get the most oily. And then I'll just take the tiniest bit on my forehead just because my forehead does tend to look cakey very easily. Then I'll just use whatever's left to go ahead and bake right here under my contour line. Now, usually when I let this bake, I'll go ahead and do some of my eyeshadow until I feel like my face is nicely baked, and then I'll go ahead and remove it. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to work on some of my eyeshadow off camera, and then I'll be right back to start the next step. Okay, so I did a little bit of my eyeshadow off camera, like I said, and now I'm just gonna buff away this bake. It hasn't been on for very long, but this powder is super duper matte, so I don't like to leave it on for too long because I don't want my face to look too dry. And so I just basically get a fluffy brush and just blend it right into my skin. I don't really like buff it away, I just like press it into my skin. Okay, so after I have my face all baked and set in place, I'll go ahead and take my Pure Cosmetics, a light powder. It's just basically a powder foundation. Before I was using this one, I was using a MAC one, so you could just use whatever you would like. And usually if I had some breakouts going on, it would still kind of peek through and I wouldn't like it and I would cover it up. But today I'm actually not having that issue. Like I have a breakout right here, one up here, and one right here, and they're pretty much covered already, but for the sake of the video, I'll just show you what I do. So usually I'll just take a small brush like this, and then I'll just dip it into the powder foundation, and then I'll just go right over that breakout and make sure it's nice and covered. Like I said, I really don't need that much coverage today. It pretty much is covered already, but I'm just doing it to show you guys what I usually would do. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'll go ahead and do the rest of my eyeshadow and then finish up the face. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, now that my eyes are pretty much almost done, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the face. So I like to go ahead and bronze and contour at the same time and just use one product. And what I've been loving for that is my Becca Sunlit bronzer in the color Capri Coast. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And the brush I've been liking to use with that is this Tarte limited edition brush. You could use any brush that you would like. I just like this one because it's kind of in that contour shape, but it's still fluffy enough to give me a bronze like all over, and so I've really been liking it. And so I'll go ahead and just take a little bit and contour with it on my cheeks. This brush is so soft. Then I just take a little tiny bit on my forehead. Then I'll go ahead and take a smaller brush. This is the Morphe M513, and I like to use this to contour my nose, and I'll just dip it in the same exact powder we were already using. And I just like to look in the mirror and just kind of do it right here because I already have some definition right here. And so I'm just missing it right here at the bottom. And I don't like to do it too crazy because if I do, my nose could end up looking bigger just because I'm not that good at contouring my nose. So I just like to add a little bit of color on the sides right here, just so it looks like I did something and it's not too like stark white. Now, blush and highlight is one of those things I like to change up on a daily basis, but this has been my favorite lately, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this blush. This is the Benefit Gold Rush blush. I showed this kind of in a gratis video, and so I'm gonna be using that today. And at first, I thought this blush wouldn't actually show up on me. I do have to build it up, but once I do build it up, it has like a really nice, like natural, pretty flush to the cheeks. And it did have a glitter overspray, and I thought I was gonna like the overspray and want it to like stay there and not just be on the top layer, but I actually didn't. It was like really chunky glitter, so I just got my brush and kind of got rid of that overspray and just been using the blush by itself, and it looks really pretty on its own. It's not too glowy, but it's also not too matte either. But like I said, I do have to build it up, but I feel like sometimes that's better because if you go in with too much at first, it's really hard to blend out. But if you have like a more buildable blush, you can build it until you get the intensity that you want. I have like glitter in my eyebrow. But this stuff has some fragrance to it. It smells like a perfume. So if you don't like fragrance, you probably won't like this, but I think it smells really good. And you guys know I like to take a little bit, whatever's left on my brush, on my nose, just to add some more color and a little bit of a highlight on the tip. And like I said, for highlight, I also like to switch it up, but recently this has been my favorite, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. This one is the Bronze Goddess highlight in the color Heat Wave from Estee Lauder. And as you can see, I have used and abused this highlight. And this is my Morphe M5 tin brush, and I'll just go ahead and highlight the highest points of my face. And this just is such a beautiful highlight. It's not too gold, but it is a gold highlight. It's just not too dark on the skin, and it really gives you that pop. I just love it so much. And it doesn't exaggerate any of my texture, it just goes on very smooth. And whatever's left on my brush is usually what I'll take on my forehead, just because I don't want too much on my forehead because I don't want to look sweaty. But I do want to add some glow up there because my forehead is one of my drier places on my face because I do have combination skin, as I mentioned in the beginning. And then I'll take some more on my brush and go right here on the bridge of my nose. I don't highlight the tip just because I already did with my blush, and I don't want to add too much highlight on my nose because I am oilier on my nose. Sometimes I'll even take it on my finger just to get more precise with it. And then blend it out with the brush. And then take some on my Cupid's bow as well. And then I'll go ahead and just set and melt all these powders in my face before we move on to like eyelashes. And I like to do it before eyelashes and mascara just so I don't get any of that black wetness on my face and mess up my foundation. And so I'll go ahead and set my face using my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. I am running out of this, so I might have to switch to some Fix Plus. We'll see how much we can get out. It's totally squirting at my face. Okay, so I'm just gonna move on to my MAC Fix Plus, just so we can get an even layer. Whew. And if I'm feeling really extra, I'll go back in with my highlight just to add a little bit more pop while my face is wet, but not too much because it can end up looking like a stripe. And so I just add a tiny bit. And if your nozzle does kind of spray at you like in a weird way, you want to make sure you blend it out with your beauty blender just so it doesn't like leave a mark where it kind of sprayed out weird. And usually the MAC Fix Plus does kind of spray out a little bit awkward, and so I'll just go in with the beauty blender and blend it out. Ooh, that highlight though. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my makeup. I just have to apply my lashes, my lip, and then I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I went ahead and finished everything, and this is how everything looks like together. I hope that you guys enjoyed this foundation routine and you found it helpful. If you have any questions for me about like my foundation routine or any of the products I used, leave it in the comments down below. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, BritanyRaquell, go ahead and subscribe before you leave. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so that's 3 times a week. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!